Is free speech under siege in America? Are you tired of the negativity in mainstream media? Well, you're not the only one. Kick back and listen to a brand new episode of Inconvenient Thoughts by Dr. K on YouTube.com.
Hi everybody, it's time again for Inconvenient Thoughts by Dr. K on YouTube. You can listen to us every Thursday on YouTube at 9 p.m. My first topic of Inconvenient Thoughts is about immigration. I would like to explain why I'm so passionate about it. My family and I are first-generation immigrants. On November 17, 1989, my wife, my 2.5-year-old son, and I left our hometown of Odessa, Ukraine, with only one dream: to have permission to legally enter the United States of America and later become citizens together with my family in this great country of ours. On April 4, 1990, we landed in JFK Airport in New York City. Our immigration procedure lasted for 6 months. During this time, we were residing in Austria for 3 weeks and in Italy for almost 5 months, where we passed all the necessary steps required by US government to get a visa and obtain a legal permit to enter the country. With the help from our sponsors, our family settled in Indianapolis, Indiana, also known as the Crossroads of America, the Heartland. Since '96, my family has been living in Cleveland, where, in my opinion, the best place in the country to raise a family and have a happy life. I will talk about why I left Indianapolis and became Clevelander later. Let's start our first topic. Immigration is a very complex topic. I am going to throw a lot of numbers at you. Just bear with me. USA has more immigrants than any other country in the world. Today, more than 40 million people living in the United States were born in another country, accounting for 1/5 of the world migrants. Population of immigrants is also very diverse, with just about every country in the world represented among US immigrants. Pew Research Center, PEW, regularly publishes statistical portraits of the nation's foreign-born population, which include historical trends since 1960. How many people in the United States are immigrants? The US foreign-born population reached a record 44.8 million in 2018. Since 1965, where US immigration law replaced a national quota system, number of immigrants living in the United States has more than quadrupled. Immigrants today account for 13.7% of the US population, nearly tripled the share 4.8% in 1970. However, today immigrant share remains below the record 14.8% in 1890, when 2.5 million immigrants live in the United States. What is the legal status of immigrants in the United States? Most immigrants, 77%, are in the country legally, while almost a quarter, 23%, are unauthorized, according to new Pew Research Center estimates based on census data adjusted for undercount. In 2017, 45% were naturalized US citizens. Some 27% of immigrants were permanent residents, and 5% were temporary residents in 2017. Another 23% of all immigrants were unauthorized immigrants. From 1990 to 2007, the unauthorized immigrant population more than tripled in size, from 3.5 million to record high 12.2 million in 2007. By 2017, that number had declined by 1.7 million or 14%. There were 10.5 million unauthorized immigrants in the US in 2017, accounting for 3.2% of nation's population. Decline in the unauthorized immigrant population is due largely to fall in the number from Mexico, the single largest group of unauthorized immigrants in the United States. Between 2007 and 2017, this group decreased by 2 million. Meanwhile, there was a rise in the number from Central America and Asia. Where do immigrants come from? Mexico is the top origin country of the United States immigrant population. In 2018, roughly 11.2 million immigrants living in the US were from there, accounting for 25% of all US immigrants. The next largest origin groups were those from China, 6%, India, 6%, Philippines, 4%, and El Salvador, 3%. By region of birth, immigrants from Asia combined accounted for 28% of all immigrants. Close to share of immigrants from Mexico, 25%. Other regions make up smaller share, Europe, Canada, and other North America, 13%. Caribbean, 10%. Central America, 8%. South America, 7%. Middle East and North Africa, 4%. And Sub-Saharan Africa, 5%. Who is arriving today? More than 1 million immigrants arrive in United States each year. In 2018, top country of origin for new immigrants coming to US was China with 149,000, Mexico 120,000, and the Philippines 46,000. By race and ethnicity, more Asian immigrants than Hispanic immigrants have arrived in the United States in most years since 2009. Asians are projected to become largest immigrant group in the US by 2055, surpassing Hispanics. Pew Research Center estimates indicate that in 2065, those who identify as Asian will make up some 38% of all immigrants, as Hispanic 31%, white 20%, black 9%. Is the immigrant population growing? New immigrants' arrivals have fallen mainly due to a decrease in number of unauthorized immigrants coming to the United States. The drop in the unauthorized immigrant population can primarily be attributed to more Mexican immigrants leaving the United States than coming in. Looking forward, immigrants and their descendants are projected to account for 88% of U.S. population growth through 2065, assuming current immigration trend continue. In addition to new arrivals, United States births to immigrants' parents will be important to future growth in the country population. In 2018, the percentage of women giving birth in the past year was higher among immigrants, 7.5%, than among the US-born, 5.7%. While US-born women gave birth to more than 3 million children that year, immigrant women gave birth to about 760,000. How many immigrants have come to the United States as refugees? Since creation of the Federal Refugee Resettlement Program in 1980, about 3 million refugees have been resettled in the United States, more than any other country. In fiscal year 2019, a total 30,000 refugees were resettled in the United States. The largest origin group of refugees was the Democratic Republic of Congo, followed by Burma, Myanmar, Ukraine, Eritrea, and Afghanistan. Among all refugees admitted in fiscal year of 2019, 4,900 are Muslims, which is 16%, and 23,800 are Christians, 79%. Texas, Washington, New York, and California resettled more than a quarter of all refugees admitted in 2018. Where do most U.S. immigrants live? Nearly half, 45%, of the nation's immigrants live in just 3 states: California, 24%, Texas, 11%, and Florida, 10%. California had the largest immigrant population of any state in 2018, at 10.6 million. Texas, Florida, and New York had more than 4 million immigrants each. In terms of regions, 2/3 immigrants lived in the West, 34%, and South, 34%. Roughly 1/5 in the Northeast, 21%, and 11 were in Midwest. In 2018, most immigrants lived in just 20 major metropolitan areas, with largest population in the New York, LA, and Miami metro areas. The 20 metro areas were home to 28.7 million immigrants, or 64% of the nation's total foreign-born population. Most of the nation's unauthorized immigrants population, or illegal, live in these top metro areas as well. Cleveland is not included in this list of 20. How many immigrants are working in the United States? In 2017, about 29 million immigrants were working or looking to work in the United States, making up some 17% of the total civilian labor force. Lawful immigrants made up the majority of the immigrant workforce at 21.2 million. Additional 7.6 million immigrants workers are unauthorized immigrants, less than total of the previous year, and notably less than in 2007, where they were 8.2 million. They alone account for 4.6% of the civilian labor force, deep from their peak by 5.8% in 2007. During the same period, overall U.S. workforce grew, as did the number of U.S.-born workers and lawful immigration workers. Immigrants are projected to drive future growth in the United States working-age population through at least 2035. As baby boomers' generation heads into retirement, immigrants and their children are expected to offset a decline in the working-age population by adding about 18 million people of the working age between 2015 and 2035. How many immigrants have been deported recently? Around 337,000 immigrants were deported from the United States in fiscal year 2018, up since 2017. Overall, Obama administration deported about 3 million immigrants between 2009 and 2016, a significantly higher number than 2 million immigrants deported by Bush administration between 2001 and 2008. In 2017, Trump administration deported 295,000 immigrants, the lowest total since 2006. Immigrants convicted of a crime made up less than half of deportations in 2018, the most recent year for which statistics by criminal status are available. Of the 337,000 immigrants deported in 2018, some 44% had criminal convictions and 56% were not convicted for a crime. From 2001 to 2018, a majority, 60% immigrants deported have not been convicted of a crime. How do Americans view immigrants and immigration? While immigration has been at the forefront of a national political debate, the U.S. public hold a range of views about immigrants living in the country. Overall, a majority of Americans have positive view about immigrants. About two-thirds of Americans, 66%, say immigrants strengthen the country because of their hard work and talents, while about quarter, 24%, say immigrants burden the country by taking job, housing, and health care. Yet this view depends on person's political affiliation. Among Democrats and Democrats-leaning independents, 88% think immigrants strengthen the country with their hard work and talents, and just 8% say they are burden. Among Republicans, 41% say immigrants strengthen the country, while 44% say they're burden it. Americans were divided on future levels of immigration. A quarter said legal immigration to the U.S. should be decreased, 24%, while one-third, 38%, said immigration should be kept to the same present level, and almost another third, 32%, said immigration should be increased. That's it for today's episode of Inconvenient Thoughts by Dr. K. Thank you very, very much to our listeners for supporting the show by subscribing to our channel and for providing positive comment. You can listen to more episodes of Inconvenient Thoughts by Dr. K on YouTube every Thursday at 9 p.m.
You've been listening to Inconvenient Thoughts by Dr. K on YouTube.com. To hear more episodes, tune in every Thursday by 9 p.m.